So we are gonna compare the damage that you can do with Hexoptics or Collector right away, okay? This is very important because it is an issue how you wanna play the match, your game, and what is the first item that you wanna get almost every single time. And now we're gonna check out after this a Chinese player 003 ADC who does Hexoptics first most of his matches. Now this example is Aphelios level 9 against a Jinx level 9. And we're going to start with Hexoptics first. The damage that you do, average crit rate of 25%, is going to be 860, okay? 860, and you get another 86 extra from Hexoptics at max range. So the final damage will be 947. Now, if you have less than 600 range, let's say 540, then you have 9% extra, which would be 938. Now, we're going to change this for Collector. The damage is way lower. Collector, you're gonna get a total of 897, and with Hexoptics you get a total of 938. Not even a max range, just 540, which is like every other weapon has that range, you know. And if you wanna keep into account what extra would you have, like Collector would do a 5% extra damage, so it would do around, what is this, like 70, right? 70 extra HP that you would get there in order to finish the kill. That is to say, the 5% of Collector. So you add this up with the thing, and you might do a little bit, only a little bit more damage with Collector if you are comparing it with Hexoptics, only if you are not a max range. Now, if you are a max range, then your damage is actually the same having Hexoptics or having Collector. Like, this is pretty obvious, you know. And then if you want to compare it to something more crazy, which is the best first item that you can get when playing Aphelios, is Infinity Edge. Or Infinity Edge uses way more damage than everything, you know. That is how it is. That item is crazy. Like, an average crit rate of 25% is insanely good. And we don't have to compare it with Stone Razor. Like, to be honest with you, Stone Razor is not that good damage-wise. It's good to kite and look for opportunities yourself and play the game yourself. But if we are in a position where we are just auto-attacking, even Juntal does more damage than Stone Razor, bro. So I would say maybe you can consider going Hexoptics into Infinity Edge, into LDR on your builds if you believe that you don't need any help, or if you're playing Ghost or even Ghost PTA. We're gonna go check all those scenarios out, but now you know what is the item that gives you the most damage. It's not Hexoptics blindly, right? It's not like that right now. And when they nerf it to, when they buff it to 500 range, it is probably going to be very strong, but still there are going to be scenarios where Collector does like 1%, 2% extra damage. Now, you might think, does that mean that there are matches where I want to go Collector first? No, never. You never want to go Collector first. Why? Because two reasons. Collector is not going to scale as well as Hexoptics is going to scale with your crit. That is to say, it's going to be way more for you to do 10% extra damage on auto attack when you have like 300 AD than just cut off 5% healing from, 5% HP from the enemies, lowering their effective HP to 95% and getting 10 lethality extra. It's just not good. Only in first item, Collector could be better in some scenarios. Now, if the enemy has any armor, or you are dealing with different champions that use scale with armor better, or have plenty base armor because they are melee champions, then you are gonna do more from Hexoptics. Right? That's just simple stuff. So you wanna get better early game, go Hexoptics, do not go Collector. Collector is dead. Collector is not that good. You're going Collector probably is because you don't know about how Hexoptics works right now. You wanna get more damage, go Infinity Edge. Maybe, perhaps you wanna look for that angle. Now, looking for another type of matchup, we're gonna go check this out now. This madness, okay? We're gonna go and look for this insane gameplay on Hexoptic first, I think. Cashback, triple tonic, bloodline cut down, 5 AD against a Yunara with a Lulu, Master MMR, and Barrier. Ooh, look at that Chroma, bro. That Chroma is amazing. I love that one. That is a difficult matchup for Aphelios, but not that crazy as it was before, you know? You can pretty much kill the champion just auto-attacking her if you get a buff from Enchanter, and here we have Lulu. Probably Aphelios can even go little tempo and you see in front of her an auto and you're gonna be able to destroy her. PTA is not a must. You can play fleet. By the way, if you are below master, brother, just don't go crazy, okay? Like you don't need to min-max your rune setup, you don't need to min-max your build, bro. Do whatever works for you and just carry your matches. Like if you're below master, chances are that what you need to improve is your micro, and that's it. That's more than enough to climb ranks until master. Past master, you might have to start min-maxing your builds. Anyway, Calibrum Q into auto attack into Severum Q, proccing the PTA. PTA is pretty helpful for that scenario because it allows you to get some extra damage there. But like we have said plenty of times, sure, PTA gets a proc there that does around 40-50 damage level 1. What will happen if you use fleet to close the gap and then manage to get another auto attack? You will be doing 70 extra damage. So overall, you're doing just way more damage with fleet. Very easy, very simple, like just simple math too. They're pushing the wave non-stop. You just need to be careful with the jungle ganks. If you ignore the jungle ganks, you're just gonna end up dying in a spot like this because you are not running ghosts. I don't understand why would he not go ghosts. Maybe because he just want to go full lane phase and try to fight them by start checking them. But something I do not like about this is that if you are looking for this type of angle, actually you will be doing way better if you have a ghost. For the main reason that if the jungle comes right now, tries to hit you, you press ghost and run him down. And if they overextend, you run them down. And if you really need to escape and you're basically under enemy tower, brother, like, barrier is gonna make no difference there to help you get out. The only way that you can kill them and the only way that you can catch people is with ghosts, you know? Now, for example, here, brother uses stack, checks them, but does he even need barrier there? Would he even need to flash that he had ghosts? So you see what I mean? It seems like barrier is the one that you have to go when you're playing early game, but in reality, if you pay more attention to your movement speed and your positioning, you are gonna be allowed to play even way more aggressive if you have ghosts instead of barrier. Either way, his web rotation you might think is a little bit messed up. Then again, that's another thing that doesn't really matter, right? At least past master or you're below master, but you can play any web rotation that you want. This is a very common thing that I see on a lot of Aphelios players that are just starting. They see the things like either black or white. It is good web rotation or it's bad web rotation. When in reality, the only thing that matters is that you kite properly, farm your minions and avoid that. Brother, you could win with any weapon that you play. But there is something that is very important about web rotation is that you need to have a plan on what weapon you want to fight with, okay? Because it kind of changes the way that you play. For example, here, he doesn't really care about the huge wave that is in front of him because he's gonna try to use that wave to bait them into walking into them, into him engaging back on them and using Infernum to clear the wave. Now he's gonna play Infernum into Crescendum into Calibrum. Ideally, what he wanna do is auto attack into Infernum Q or double auto attack into Infernum Q, because one big problem that Infernum has when you're playing PTA is that if you're hitting 2 targets and you hit 1 target and then do Infernum Q, the PTA is not gonna proc because it's gonna go 2 targets, 2 auto attacks in 1 target, and then the next auto attack goes to another, so PTA resets, so you lose your PTA proc, so that rune is worthless. So that's just a little mechanic that you need to keep in mind when you're playing PTA with Infernum. Not necessarily to follow that up all the time because it's just a small trick, but if you really want to max out your damage output, well, PTA is not really that rune, you know? But it does help a lot. It does help a lot when you're doing single target damage. If you do an Infernum auto attack into Calibrum offhand with Infernum Q, you proc PTA with just 1 auto attack into Infernum Q and you do several amounts of damage. Then again, it's not really easy to pull that off. Not because it's hard to press Q and auto attack, but what is difficult is relying on your enemy walking up to you. one of the reasons why I do enjoy Infernum and Calibrum a lot, but let's be honest, right? That thing is not reliable, especially the auto attack reset that you might try to pull off when using that weapon. You just know it. And if you think they're reliable, that's probably because you have just faced bad players, you know, players that don't know what your weapons really do, which is okay. That's one of the strengths, right, quote unquote strengths of Aphelios. You facing somebody who has no idea how to play against your champion. Now, Triple Tonic, I don't consider it to be that strong, because if you just do the math like we have done before, you should probably check out the season guide where we do all the math with Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus and Cashback. You can tell right away that Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus is the best rune that you can take for Aphelios. I would imagine that for other champions that rely more on items and just getting crit, it's better to get cashback, but for Aphelios is not really it. Here, another difficult scenario, he cannot really commit there. Probably Severum Q into Calibrum Q into Calibrum Ultimate. Either way, he can look for that right now. Baiting Shaco engage. Severum Q movement speed. Damn. Yeah. Severum Q extra movement speed to kite that Shaco. Baiting with Severum Q into Calibrum Ultimate into barrier. Nice try, nice try. You got a kill on Shaco very easy. Either way, that is amazing. That was very well played. He baited the right Shaco, and well, brother, this is pretty much easy game, right? Like, what is Shaco gonna do against this brother? Snipebringer Aphelios with a Lulu against a Yunara. He just stands still and Yunara dies to auto attacks because Lulu is gonna buff out the damage that you get from your auto attacks. Damn, pretty good, pretty easy. Hexoptics damage. And Hexoptics is gonna get better, even way better next patch, so that's gonna be amazing. What? Graviton Ultimate, Graviton Q, Flash, Auto Attack, Infernum, Sidestep, a tempo fit. TP, this is out, right? Polymorph? Oh, okay, Lulu. Now he's alone. Oh, that Lulu must feel so bad, bro. Deserve for a player, bro. That's what you get if you trust your Lulu. That always happens. Anyway, he goes non-quiver now. Why is he going non-quiver? He's gonna go Juntal. He's not gonna go Juntal, right? Like, there is no way he goes Juntal here. He's probably gonna go Infinity Edge. Yeah, he's gonna go Infinity Edge into LDR. He's probably stanking as much crit rate as he can, but I would not recommend you doing that, especially if you don't have Infinity Edge. As you can tell, there is a huge skip from the last teamfight to this teamfight, and that's probably because he knows that like, he's not as strong, so he's just gonna stop fighting and he just gonna wait for getting 3 items. And when you get 3 items, well, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much GG. With Ghost would be way easier to catch anybody. On Stone Razor, game would be 100% over. But I think Hexoptics is a very viable first item that you wanna consider plenty of times when you need to go front to back, and even if they can or will try to kill you by running into you and you need to kite, as long as you have an enchanter next to you or you're playing with your duo, with your team, then the right call is always maximizing your damage output. And the way that you maximize your damage output without a doubt is going Hexoptics into Infinity Edge or Hexoptics into LDR because of the price of the item, and that it is way easier to get a very expensive item at mid game or late game than trying to rushing it first, just because of how cannons work, right? Like, you get 1 cannon first and 1 cannon every 2 waves and 1 cannon every wave, and that's just how the game goes right now, especially keeping into account that you're gonna get a burst of gold when you finish your quest, so it's way easier to finish your second item than would it be your first item. Now, another thing to consider in this spot is that bro, you're just getting one-shotted, you know? Like, what can you do, dude? Like, if you cannot kite, you just cannot kite. You need to burst them down, and this is my main concern with going this build. Sure, you have an insane amount of damage, but brother, if your team doesn't build for you, if you get hit by something, you just disappear. Like, you don't get to play this game. Anyway, he managed to get enough advantage for him to close the game without having to rely that much on his team. and then he just wins it. Very, very good player. 003 DC, Loki, and Shanji, my favorite Aphelios players, dude. I love that we can watch them again, bro. They are so, so good. Let's check another match to finish this. And this is the same angle of the build, as you can tell. They're gonna go PTA, Triumph, Bloodline, Attack, Speed, Rune Shard, with Cashback and Triple Tonic. And it's 003 ADC again. Now he has the Shaco support this time, so we're gonna see how he deals with it. And again, the Parikrama mango taste, bro. Damn, I love that. Now, we need to... Well, Jinx? Wait. Jinx matchup? Jinx matchup with the Thresh? Jinx matchup is a very difficult matchup, I'm not gonna lie to you. But you have a chance to play this out. Like, there are 2 ways that I usually address this type of matchup. Actually, 3 ways, because there are 3 runes that are viable here. Even 4, depending on your support. But first is the PTA, okay? This is the most common one. You need to proc that PTA as soon as you get level 2. Spam it, hit her, get as much advantage as you can HP wise, and then try to win the game out of that. Second way that I consider to be more reliable, but more like a higher risk, higher reward, is Lethal Tempo. Lethal Tempo, double health at the force, no attack speed rune shard, no level 1 on Q, on W, and you just walking, space her out and stack your Lethal Tempo and beat her because you are range her on the first levels. As you can tell here, she's trying to kill her through outrange, and once the Jinx oversteps, you just kite her out and you beat her. Just that simple, bro. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just kiting. And one of the reasons why he's allowed to do this all is because of Ghost. Like, do you remember what we talked about last match? Yeah, sure, barrier is gonna make you tank a little bit more, but are you even gonna be able to chase out people? Are you gonna be even able to secure kills or run away? No. The HP is not good. It's not that good as it was before. It got nerfed. It has less HP now. So Ghost is just vital, bro. Even if you wanna play aggressive, Ghost is just the best thing that you can do, and on top of that, secures you mid game and secures you late game. So it's insanely good. And also, you would like to consider here that the third angle will be going fleet with Storm Razor. You use a fleet 100 energized attack on a minion and then close the gap to Jinx, drop 1 out attack, and you have to do that from level 1 to make sure that you build HP advantage and push her out of the wave. It's just as simple. But then again, you need to know that, right? Like, you just need to know the strats. Brother starts with pickaxe, match is pretty much over. He's playing PTA, he can burst down the Trace, he can burst down the Jinx pretty easy. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't align on Trace when he has Aftershock, or he waits for the Aftershock to expire and then goes align. Either cooldown or either uses it and stop doing damage. Jinx is not that big of a problem. That's one champion that gets out of control very easy, but Venus can deal with her. You just need to change the way that you play the game, because most people might think Severum Crescendum is the way that I win this team fight, right? In reality, it's not. You don't win this team fight with Severum Crescendum. You win fights with Crescendum Calibrum, especially dealing with a Jinx. The way that you beat this Jinx is bursting her down. Now, Brother kind of fumbled there, but he can rely on Shaco to burst down the support, and then he messes up. Yeah, it is what it is. If you give a kill to Jinx, you just struggle afterwards. And if you get hit by hook, there is no counterplay to that, especially with your Ghost. That is something that you need to keep in mind a lot when you're playing this champion, when you're playing Ghost. If you are not playing around your cooldowns, you're gonna struggle a lot, because Ghost allows you to do so much more, but it's completely worthless if it's on cooldown, right? Like, and if you're not playing Stone Razor, then there is nothing that you can rely on to. Either way, I think Hexoptics is a good call against a Jinx, because you wanna look to burst her down, not really go melee on her, but be able to do the highest damage output possible when you wanna fight on team fights or in lane. And well, you are gonna kill her with Infernum Calibrum. You really don't look for melee range on her. Otherwise, you might die, because he has more healing potential than you. Nice sidestep. Madman. Actually, Madman to sidestep like that, but doable. Great. Trying to bait for the Shaco now. That's all good. Just catch the wave, hold it, freeze it close to you, so you might look for an engage afterwards, trying to poke with Infernum. That is very important too. You guys don't know about that. Hitting range minions with your Infernum, not to clear the wave faster, but to look for an angle to poke her. Infernum bolts do a lot of damage. Not that much before level 9, but they end up stacking some HP there. If you didn't know that, Infernum does the highest damage past level 9. When you reach level 9, it actually scales into 100% of your damage. Before that, it's around 75% of your damage, like the bolts and the ultimate. So if you are around those levels, you don't even want to do Infernum ultimate. Another reason why Aphelios levels are so important. If you die, you lose XP, you cannot swap weapons, and you cannot level up a weapon. So you need as many levels as possible to make every weapon viable, and especially the weapon that you want to use for teamfights, you know? After the Infernum Q, Calibrum Q, PTA proc, lovely. Bro, how disrespectful is that Thresh? Is insane. Now Thresh cannot lean. If Thresh leans there, they just die. Calibrum Q, Calibrum ultimate. Calibrum Q, Calibrum ultimate. Ah, damn it. You know what you can do there in that very specific scenario? When you see that there is a lantern, you drop a Calibrum Q, so that way she takes the lantern, and then you drop your Calibrum ultimate to the Thresh. So that way you make sure that even if Jinx doesn't get hit directly by the Calibrum ultimate, she's gonna get hit by the AoE of the Calibrum. So that way you secure a mark there, an empower mark. So it's very good to do that. I have faced so many Thresh, that's why I know how to do with that, how to deal with that Raccoon with his lantern. Nice attempt with Infernum ultimate would have been better Graviton ultimate, because it would have increased the slow and increased the root duration. That's good. He tanks the tower. Ooh, the Shaco, bro. So good. Damn, that was great. This is Hexoptic range, dude. The damage is insane. So good. I still believe that Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm would be better, but if you're snowballing, it does make sense trying to go this, right? Like, right now he got like 500 value out of Hexoptics and LDR. He will have around 700, 800 at minute 20. He has 11 AD from Absolute Focus. Nice attempt. Nice attempt. Cannot do much with Akali. 11 AD from Absolute Focus. 12 AD now because level 12. Around 10, 12 AD too with Gathering Storm. He's sitting around 700 gold from 20 AD. Another 180 around that, 180 or 200 from the extra half of a log sword. So he's sitting around 900 gold. Around 900 gold. Cashback would be around 600, 500. So you just get straight up more gold value from Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus. That is how it is. Then again, if you're snowballing and you are able to get 4-5 items before minute 30, then brother, yeah, your cashback is good. Your cashback is doing great. But if you're not getting 4 to 5 items before minute 30, then you're doing way better with Gathering Storm and Absolute Focus. Like, that's gonna give you way more gold value. And the only good thing about Triple Tonic is that after the force, that the Elixir of 4 doesn't even give you that much now. Then again, Severum Crescendum with a Crescendum ultimate into use of attack. That's one good thing about this type of build, you know, with Hexoptic. If you manage to get the reset and get the extra range, probably even your Crescendum hits hard, but the counterplay is that, do I really want my Crescendum to run that far away from me so it lowers my DPS? You don't, right? Infernum is the strongest thing that you can get here. I would love to have like Rune with Hexoptic. Would be insane, bro. It would actually be insane. But maybe this is the play. This allows you to go for that 1v9 type of angle. You start with Hexoptics, you play Ghost, you play LDR, you play Infinity Edge, you play Rune, and then you destroy them all. Like, Rune is such a strong item to be able to win teamfights. As you can tell here, he was struggling, and now he defends with Infernum, and the damage output is just insane. Like, there is no way you're gonna lose your base when you have Infernum with Rune and Hexoptics, dude. So I would think that this is a build that we need to try, because this one seems way more reliable than trying to 1v9 through micro, bro. You don't feel good if you are not kiting perfectly. Storm Razor is not really gonna carry your match, dude. You're gonna struggle so much because if you misclick, you're gonna just lose. I think this build might be meta. Yeah, I think this build might be meta. And this is something that you might want to use on Master and lower, you know? Even if you are using Storm Razor, like, you just have to play Hexoptics, dude. That's just the play, like, there is no other thing you can do. Severum ultimate, now she got flash, Infernum auto, Infernum Q. He has no respect from them, dude. He has no respect at all. I mean, Guardian Angel, no, right? Severum Q, all good, and game is over. That was amazing. This match was great. You guys have any question about this type of builds? Make sure to drop a comment, drop a like too. I'm streaming daily. You wanna see or recommend a build? I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to play it. And you wanna know more about the mat? Let me know on the stream. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Soon we're gonna hit Challenger. And thank you. See you on the next time. Thank you. Bye bye.